Hey, and welcome to the AI Timeline channel. If you like the podcast, please leave a like and subscribe. Now, have fun with the podcast. Buckle up, because today we're diving into the swirling vortex of predictions about Meta's next big AI project, their supposed next-gen LLM, slated for a 2025 release.
It's almost like clockwork. Every year, there's a new promise of AI that's going to revolutionize everything. But this time, Meta's talking about moving beyond chatbots towards what they're calling AI
Right,
agents.
like my to-do list isn't long enough already. But seriously, what's the difference between a chatbot that can write a haiku and an AI agent that can, say, book my flights and hotels?
Well, the key here is the supposed shift from simple question and answer interactions to actual task completion. The source predicts that Meta's AI assistant could have nearly 600 million monthly users by the end of 2024. Imagine if even a fraction of those users could delegate complex tasks to their AI.
So instead of me endlessly scrolling through travel websites, my AI could just handle it all based on a few preferences. That does sound temptingly efficient. But hold on, this source also throws around terms like multimodal mastery and large concept models. It's giving me a bit of a tech overload.
Let's break it down. Multimodal essentially means this AI wouldn't just understand text, it would integrate speech and visual data too. Think of it like this. You could show your AI a picture of a stunning sunset, tell it about your day, and it could write you a personalized poem combining all those elements.
Okay, that's a bit more impressive than just booking flights. But what are these large concept models, or LCMs? Are they just supersized language models with a fancy new name?
They're definitely more than just a rebranding. LCMs are designed to operate on a different level. Instead of just processing words, they're supposed to grasp abstract concepts and relationships, almost like a rudimentary form of understanding.
So is that where this sonar thing comes in? The source describes it as some kind of high-dimensional space for these LCMs. Is this starting to sound like something out of a sci-fi novel to you?
Well, the idea is that sonar acts as a map, allowing these LCMs to navigate and connect different concepts. One potential application they highlight is real-time translation across multiple languages. Picture this. You're traveling in a foreign country, and your AI assistant seamlessly translates conversations in real time.
It would certainly make those awkward lost in translation moments a thing of the past. But let's be realistic. Even with all this conceptual wizardry, AI still needs some serious computing power to function. And speaking of power, this source mentions Meta's plan to deploy a staggering 350,000 NVIDIA H100 GPUs by the end of 2024. Is that even possible?
It's a massive undertaking, no doubt. To put it into perspective, that's more GPUs than many supercomputers have. This level of investment in infrastructure underscores Meta's commitment to pushing the boundaries of AI development. It's this computing power that allows them to create and train these increasingly complex models.
So it's like building a bigger, faster brain for the AI, and they're sparing no expense on the construction materials. The source also mentioned something about larger models like Llama 3.1. What's the significance of that?
Llama 3.1, according to the source, represents a step forward in both speed and accuracy. It's designed to deliver faster responses and more accurate results, all while potentially using less computational power. It's like optimizing the brain's efficiency as well.
Okay, so Meta is pouring resources into building a powerful and efficient AI. But here's where things get a bit more philosophical, shall we say. The source emphasizes Meta's commitment to open source development. They highlight projects like PyTorch and Grand Teton, and even mention the expansion of their open innovation AI research community. What's the thinking behind this open source approach?
Well, on the surface, it seems like a very generous move. Open source development allows anyone to access and contribute to the code, which in theory should foster faster innovation and wider accessibility to AI tools. It also creates this image of transparency as if they're saying, look, we have nothing to hide.
Right, because who needs trade secrets and competitive advantages when you can just share everything with the world? But seriously, are there any potential downsides to this open source approach? What if someone uses this technology for, shall we say, less than noble purposes?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Open source has its proponents and its critics. Proponents argue that it democratizes access to technology and leads to faster advancements. Critics worry about potential misuse, lack of control, and the possibility of bad actors exploiting vulnerabilities.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword then. Exciting possibilities coupled with the potential for unforeseen consequences. I guess that's the nature of technological progress. Speaking of progress, let's move on to some real-world applications, because ultimately, all this fancy tech needs to have some practical use, right?
Exactly. And the source actually highlights some interesting examples of businesses already utilizing Meta's open models.
Hmm.
Spotify, for instance, is supposedly leveraging Llama to enhance their music recommendations, making those Discover weekly playlists even more eerily attuned to your tastes.
So if my AI starts recommending polka music after I tell it about my newfound interest in German culture, I'll know who to blame.
But what about other applications? I mean, personalized music is cool and all, but this LLM is supposed to be capable of so much more.
The source suggests that in 2025, we could see a wider adoption of this technology across various sectors. Imagine customer service chatbots that can actually understand your frustrations and provide genuinely helpful solutions instead of just regurgitating scripted responses.
Now, that would be a true customer service revolution. No more spending hours on hold listening to elevator music while being transferred from one clueless representative to another. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The source also touches on some potential real-world applications that hit a little closer to home.
Right, like the idea of your AI assistant becoming a super efficient personal organizer. You could analyze your schedule, prioritize tasks, even draft emails and presentations based on your notes and preferences.
So it's like having a digital personal assistant who never takes a break, never complains, and never forgets a deadline. Sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? Well, like with any new technology, there are potential downsides to consider. Job displacement, for instance, is a valid concern. As AI systems become more sophisticated, they could potentially automate tasks currently performed by humans, leading to shifts in the job market.
Right, because who needs human interaction when you can have an AI that flawlessly executes your every command? But seriously, it's a valid point. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, it's important to consider the potential societal and economic implications. We've seen this pattern before with automation, and it's crucial to have proactive discussions about reskilling and adapting to the changing job landscape.
Absolutely. And it's not just about replacing humans with machines, it's about exploring how AI can augment our capabilities, allowing us to work more efficiently and focus on tasks that require uniquely human skills like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where humans and AI can collaborate effectively, each contributing their strengths to achieve common goals. I guess that's the ideal scenario, but it requires careful planning and consideration to ensure that AI is developed and deployed ethically and responsibly. This brings us back to that question we touched on earlier, the potential for misuse of this open source technology.
It's a complex issue with no easy answers. On the one hand, open access can accelerate innovation and make technology more widely available. On the other hand, it increases the risk of malicious actors exploiting vulnerabilities for their own gain. It's a delicate balancing act between fostering progress and mitigating potential risks.
So it's not just about building a smarter AI, it's about building a safer and more equitable future alongside it. But let's zoom out for a moment and consider the bigger picture. What does the emergence of this LLM tell us about the trajectory of AI development? Are we on the cusp of a true AI revolution, or is this just another hype cycle that will eventually fade away?
It's certainly a pivotal moment in the evolution of AI. We're seeing breakthroughs in natural language processing, computer vision, and machine learning converging at an unprecedented pace.
Yes.
And Meta, with its vast resources and ambitious goals, is undoubtedly playing a significant role in shaping this landscape.
So it's not just about the specific capabilities of this LLM. It's about what it represents, a step towards a future where AI is increasingly integrated into our lives, for better or worse. But what does this future actually look like? Are we talking about a utopia where AI solves all our problems, or a dystopia where machines take over and humans become obsolete?
Well, the truth probably lies somewhere between those extremes.
Right.
It's not about predicting a definitive outcome, but about understanding the potential possibilities and engaging in thoughtful discussions about how we want to shape this AI-powered future.
So it's not just about passively observing technological advancements, it's about actively shaping them to align with our values and aspirations. It's a call to action for all of us researchers, developers, policymakers, and even everyday users to think critically about the implications of AI and to work together to ensure that it's used for good.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the future of AI is not predetermined. It's a story that we're all writing together.
Mhm.
And the choices we make today will shape the chapters to come.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, from the technical intricacies of this LLM to its potential applications and implications. But we're not done yet. There's still much to explore, especially when it comes to the practical rollout of this technology and what it means for you, our listener. Welcome back for the final part of our exploration into Meta's grand AI experiment. We've dissected the tech, pondered the potential, and even dipped our toes into the murky waters of ethical dilemmas. But now, let's try to answer the burning question on everyone's mind. What does this mean for you, the listener, in the real world?
Well, let's start with the most likely scenario, a gradual rollout. Meta will probably start by giving access to select partners, researchers, and developers. It's like a controlled experiment before they unleash this AI on the unsuspecting public.
A beta test for the brave, you might say.
Hmm.
But once this AI escapes the lab, how do you see people actually using it? Will we all be living in a sci-fi movie where our AI assistants anticipate our every need?
I wouldn't go that far, but imagine a world where your AI can go beyond simple tasks and actually learn your preferences. It could analyze your spending habits and suggest budgeting strategies, plan your trips down to the last detail, even curate your newsfeed based on your interests. It's like having a personalized digital concierge who knows you better than you know yourself.
It sounds both incredibly convenient and slightly terrifying. Will my AI judge me for my online shopping sprees? Will it start recommending self-help books if I spend too much time browsing cat videos?
That's where things get interesting. As AI becomes more sophisticated, we'll have to grapple with questions about data privacy and control. If this LLM is going to be truly personalized, it will need access to vast amounts of data about our habits, preferences, and even our emotions.
So it's a trade-off then. We gain convenience and efficiency, but potentially sacrifice some level of privacy and autonomy. It makes you wonder if we're ready for that level of AI integration into our lives.
That's why it's so crucial to have these conversations now while this technology is still in its early stages. We need to think critically about the implications, not just for individuals, but for society as a whole.
It's not just about the shiny new features. It's about understanding the potential consequences and making informed choices about how we want to interact with this technology. We can't just passively accept whatever the tech giants roll out. We need to be active participants in shaping the future of AI.
Absolutely. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's something we're all shaping, whether we realize it or not. And the more informed and engaged we are, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this evolving landscape.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what are the key takeaways for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they ponder this brave new world of AI?
First, don't be afraid to embrace the possibilities. AI has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of our lives for the better. But second, stay informed. Do your research, ask questions, and engage in critical discussions about the implications of this technology.
It's about finding that balance between enthusiasm and skepticism, between embracing innovation and demanding accountability. And ultimately, it's about remembering that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. It's up to us to decide how we want to wield it.
That's a powerful thought to leave our listeners with. As we enter this new era of AI, let's approach it with both curiosity and caution, with a desire to explore its potential while remaining mindful of its limitations.
Thank you very much for listening. Leave a like and subscribe. Until next time.